Welcome to APINova, a modern script-free API testing platform. In this video, you'll see the complete end-to-end flow, from project setup to running test cases and building scenarios for your use cases. You'll start by creating a new project, your workspace for managing test cases, environments, and APIs. Add your API using a base URL or OpenAPI spec, then define test cases in seconds. No scripting required. It's fast, structured, and built for modern teams. Let's begin. Click Sign Up, enter your details, and create your account in seconds. Check your inbox and click the verification link to confirm your email. Once verified, you're all set to explore the platform. After verifying your email, head back to the login page. Enter your credentials and sign in to access your dashboard. Once logged in, click on the project menu to view and manage your existing projects or create a new one. Click on Create Project to start setting up your API tests. Fill in the form by adding your project name and service name, then proceed to create your project. Select the environment, as the application supports multiple environments. Then, provide your Swagger URL to connect your API definition. The base URL will be auto-fetched, or you can enter it manually if needed. You can also add environment variables for dynamic data handling during the test run. Once done, click on Save. Your project has been created successfully. You can now view details like the number of services linked to it, who created it, the creation, and last updated dates, along with actions such as edit, delete, and share. You can also collaborate with your team by adding members, or inviting users and managing roles to control access and permissions. Click on the project to open it and view the details of your new API testing setup. Inside the project, click on the service to view its associated endpoints and configurations. You can also view detailed metrics based on individual services or across multiple services using filters. Monitor success and error rates, maximum API response time, the total number of test cases, both AI-generated and manual, and the overall number of endpoints. Another helpful feature is Swagger validation. Once you upload your Swagger file, APINova automatically checks its validity and marks it as valid or invalid. If there are any issues, it provides specific error messages to help you resolve them and ensure your Swagger file is correct. Click on the Swagger link to view the detailed Swagger specification. You can view the Swagger specification to explore the API details. Now, let's move on to the next step. Test cases. These are created to run tests with detailed scenarios. Next, click on the Test Cases tab to generate test cases that you can use directly for your test runs. Click on the Create Test Case. You can also choose to generate test cases automatically using AI based on your API definition, fast and script-free. Or you can either create test cases manually or import them from your existing collections. Now let's try to generate test cases using AI. Click on Generate. Your tests are ready to use in just a few seconds. Once test case generation is complete, you'll see a list of all created test cases for your API. These include positive, negative, and edge scenarios, with AI-generated cases prioritized. You can review and modify them if needed. Let's move on to the next step, which is dataset generation. This feature allows you to define sample values for your endpoints. You can use these datasets directly in test runs. To proceed, just click on Create Dataset. You can create the dataset using the AI dataset generation. Alternatively, you can import a file from your local system or download the template, update it with your data, and upload it back into the platform. You can also preview the downloaded file template to understand the required structure and fields before updating and uploading your data. Now let's generate the dataset using AI. The template auto-populates the required request and response fields based on your API definition. Next, click on Generate to proceed. Here's the generated test data file with all the sample inputs ready for execution. Now let's run the test using the AI-generated test cases and the dataset you just created. Click on Run Test. Choose the test case type, set its priority, and define the expected response type. By default, APINova checks the schema, status code, and response time. But when you add assertions, it performs stricter validation by also checking the response body, along with all other parameters, ensuring your API behaves exactly as expected. Following that, click on Next. Now select the specific APIs you want to include in the test run. Next, choose the test data file generated earlier to use during the test execution. Click on Next. If needed, you can add custom variables to use during the test run for dynamic data handling. Click on Next. You can also schedule the test run to execute at a specific date and time, perfect for routine checks or regression testing. Click on Run Test. Once the test run is complete, you can view the results. Click on any test case to view detailed information. In the test case details, open the Request tab to see the full request headers, body during execution. Switch to the Response tab to check the response body, status code, and headers returned by the API. Let's view the test case that is passed. Open the Request tab to review the exact payload, headers, and parameters that were sent. You can also view detailed test reports and export them in HTML or CSV format. Open the downloaded report to see a complete details. You can easily retest the same test that was configured earlier, without setting it up again. You can also view the recommendations auto-generated as per your Swagger definition under the Recommendations tab. APINova also lets you create scenarios, a powerful way to group and organize multiple test cases to reflect real-world API workflows. You can build complex testing flows by chaining test cases together, ensuring your APIs behave correctly across different use cases. To get started, go to the Scenarios tab and click on Add Scenario to begin creating your flow. Let's walk through a typical onboarding scenario. We'll start by registering a new user, followed by logging in with the same account. Next, we'll create a site for that user, and finally, fetch all the site details associated with that specific user. Enter the scenario name and a short description, and select the environment you want to run it in. Following that, click on Next. Now, simply drag and drop the user creation endpoint into the flow area to define the sequence in which they should be executed, just like how they'd run in real use cases. Next, choose the specific test cases you want to include for each endpoint in your scenario flow. Now select the test data related to the specific test case. Now click on Review Selection, check the dataset, and confirm to proceed. To proceed to the next step, drag the post method for login into the flow. This will handle token generation for user authentication. Following that, select test cases. Similarly, select the test data as well. Click on Review Selection. Then use the API field mapper to seamlessly pass data between APIs, linking request and response fields across steps. This ensures smooth and consistent data flow throughout your scenario execution. Following that, click on Step 1 to input the necessary data, if required. Afterwards, click on Save Changes. Continue by dragging additional endpoints such as user login, site creation, and fetching all site details. Then, use the field mapper to connect and map the required data across these steps accordingly. Use the field mapper to update the request body with the appropriate data if required. Similarly, proceed with the same steps as mentioned earlier to complete the scenario flow. Drag and drop the values into the designated fields and update them easily. Click on Save Changes. Now let's click on Run Scenario to execute the entire flow, from user creation to site details retrieval. Now you can see the scenario has run successfully. Click on View Results to check the execution details. View the brief detail. Now you can view the detailed status of each step under the Details tab. You can also check the complete request data by navigating to the Request tab. Similarly, you can view the response details in the Response tab, just like you did for the request. You can view the failed step, details, request, and response tabs to understand what went wrong.